Hey Empirenistas, and hello Powerhouse CEO Moms group here on Facebook. It is your host Alicia Henderson, and I am live today to talk about how to deal with the overwhelm and anxiety during the holiday season because we are entering into the holidays, and I just want to talk about that. So if you are there, you know I love for you guys to shout me out a hey girl hey, and I love for your feedback, so make sure you do that. Also, if you are a replay viewer, please leave your feedback after watching or while you're watching through the replay. I love getting your feedback, and I thank you for catching the replay. So, I am doing this live. I'm actually recording this for my podcast called the She Builds Empires podcast. So this will be launching this month. I'm tired of sitting on my hands talking about it. I'm just going to do it. So I had other plans to release something else, but sometimes you can't you got to go for it. Sometimes things, the way you have it planned, it's not going to go as planned. So if you see me looking from here to here, it's because I'm on my MacBook, but I'm recording from my Logitech HD camera. So it has a better camera. As you can see, y'all see my mess in the back. But, I'm keeping it real with y'all today. This is how it looks when you work from, this is how my Empire Nista headquarters looks. This is how it looks when you work from home. The desk is not clean. There's so many notebooks and stuff. Here I was listening to another podcast, Rachel Luna's podcast, and she basically took Tiffany Montgomery's, message. It was a word, and it was, it's just been a day of emotions and, tears and just thanking God for sending the right messengers to my life. So I'm just going to go for it. So today we're talking about how to deal with the stress and anxiety and overwhelm during the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving last week, so you're listening to this into December. You can listen to this at any time. It's a holiday that it affects your life in a big way. And we're entering into the holiday season. Christmas is upon us, for those of you who celebrate Christmas. And we're trying to get so much done. And it's not just the holiday of Christmas or Thanksgiving, but it's really the holiday of the new year, because the new year brings new goals, it brings new things, it brings all this anxiety about making money and, getting and doing better than we did this past year. It just brings up all these feelings. And so you start to get anxiety. You start to see people talking about their goals and talking about the things that they've done and what they plan on doing. And you feel like you're either not doing enough, or you need to bump it up, or you're doing nothing at all, or you're doing too much. And right now for me, I'm in a season of, I feel like this past year, and I'll just be very transparent, I feel like this year has been a season, just a year of everything being on hold for me and personally in my life. And I think that it's also trickled into my professional life. I was in a car accident almost a year ago, and for 8 months that really did affect my life. I didn't take on as many clients as I wanted to. I won't say that. But it just affected, there were so many things. And so when I was listening to the podcast today, it was like the year or the month of unusual blessings. And so really I want to change that to the year of unusual blessings for me. So that's what I'm declaring over my life. But anyways, during the holiday season, we get overwhelmed. There's all this stuff going on. There's plays at your kids' school. There's, their kids, either like me, I give them each a Toys R Us and a Target gift book, and I have them circle the things that they want, but now that they're writing, I'm having them write out their Christmas list. I tell them you can put 10 things down, but you can expect 5 to 7. Because, there's no point in going broke and buying Christmas presents, and it's really not about the physical presents anyways for Christmas, for us anyways. So I tell them to do that. And you got to go get that. Then there's Black Friday. My husband and I were out till 3 o'clock in the morning doing that, just because we had babysitters. My parents came up and we just wanted to have a break, and we went to do that. Then there's Cyber Monday, making sure you get all these deals, and then you get the anxiety of what if you don't get the right gift. So you have that anxiety too. So there's all this stuff going on, and you start to feel like, this isn't too much. And I'm actually in the camp for my December of setting myself up and building the momentum up for 2018 for January. And some people are in the camp of they're just gonna relax during December, take it slow, not do too much, not have a bunch of launches. But really, in November, December, people launch a lot of things. So don't feel that you have to launch anything this month. If it's not in your calling, if it's not in the cards for you, I don't even know what that means. If it's not a part of your agenda, don't do it, okay? So that's the first thing I want to tell you. I actually have 5 tips, but I felt called to say, if it's not in the agenda for you to launch something or to come out with a new program, don't do it. Often we get so overwhelmed and we also get influenced by other people, and it becomes a competition thing, or it becomes a comparison thing. Well, she's launching this, or she's talking about all this money that she's made. I've got to keep up and I got to keep pace with them. No, you do not. You do not need to keep up pace with anybody. You need to stay in your lane, do your own things, keep your own goals, and just do that. When we start comparing ourselves to other people, when we start doing the whole, I've got to make this money and putting more stress on ourselves, that's all we're doing. And one thing I talked about, and you'll see in my upcoming summit, is that do not compare your business and where you're at right now to someone else's highlight reel, because you don't know their journey and you don't know what they're talking about. And honey, you don't know what they're talking about is net or profit, because some of these 6 and 7 figure business people out here up in these business streets talking about the money that they made, but they talking about how they had a $50,000 launch, but homegirl only has $5,000 in the bank, if that. So let's also not go back and start listening to these, charlatans say these things. There's a bunch of phony baloney stuff out there. Let's just be real. Talking about all these big launches, but they're not telling you how much it costs to do that launch and all this crap. And I'm really all about having the launch that's not going to cause anxiety and stress anyways, because look, as a mom, we've already got enough going on. As I said, you got all this stuff going on. Your kid has to play during this season. You got to buy the Christmas presents. You got to put up the tree. You got to decorate the house. You got to make all these plans to make money. And then you got to operate your business. And then you got to take care of this. And then some of y'all got small kids at home. So bless your hearts. I pray for you, because I know how it is to have small kids at home. Thankfully, mine are in elementary school right now. But anyways, if you're not called to launch something during this time in November, December, and even January, please do not do that. Don't overstress yourself out. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do things just because you see someone else doing them. And I'm speaking from personal experience, because I did this for Black Friday. I felt like I had to, knowing good and well, I didn't have to do anything at all. I didn't need to do that. But I felt like, I need to do this. Just bring some extra money in, or just do that. And you know what? I didn't end up meeting my goals. And I just felt like, what a waste of my time. Like, I could have been enjoying my family. I could have been enjoying myself and not really thinking about, I got to have this sale. So don't do something just because someone else is doing it. And don't feel called to do it if it's popular and everybody and their mom is doing it. Because that means you usually should not be doing it anyways. So let's hop into these tips. And then I'll let you go. I don't want to make this a long broadcast for you. I know you guys got things to do, and I do appreciate and honor your time. The first tip, is really about pacing yourself. As I said, we've got all these things going on. And it's really just about doing the things that you need to be doing during this time. If you're not called to launch, don't do it. But you should be planning for your 2018. That should be planned before 2018 comes. You can always start planning by just putting out an income goal, looking and overviewing and reviewing your already existing products and services, taking a look at that, maybe eliminating a product or service that you no longer need, or adding something that you've received feedback from your existing clients. Doing market research is another thing that you could be doing to pace yourself, to make sure that you're on track and you're really speaking to your ideal clients and you're meeting those needs. So pace yourself. Don't do everything because everybody and their mom is doing it. Don't do it because you see someone else, the person that you admire, the mentor that you have, because they're doing it, because they have already been working on that same thing for months, and they have that structure in place, versus you don't really have a structure right now to do it. So why would you try? It doesn't make sense. It's kind of ridiculous to start doing that. So we got to do things that make sense, that are, don't waste our time, that are good decisions. One thing I always tell my kids is, like, if they stumble, if they make a mistake, if they do something that's not really the wisest thing to do, I always say, okay, let's take a look at it. What went wrong? What went right? Maybe that wasn't the best thing to do. Let's work on making better decisions and better choices. So that we're not in trouble. We're not getting under restriction. We're not getting the nail polish taken away. Those things. So we got to think about it for ourselves. If you don't want to waste thousands of dollars, then maybe we shouldn't be doing it and make a better decision to plan ahead. So that can be done. So pace yourself. And also this also goes to do what only you can do. That means if you should not be, doing the branding, doing the logo, doing the website, doing the podcast, doing the blogging, doing the launching, that means don't do it. Don't take on everything. Do not take on everything. Also, don't put so much stuff on your schedule for the day. For me, it's because, I don't know, the time changed. I feel like the day just goes by super fast. But it could be because sometimes in the morning I go to kickboxing from 9:15 to 10:15. So that means I have less time to do a lot of things before my kids get out of school. So I have to make sure that I am pacing myself and only putting on so many things that I can for my schedule. And whatever I can do that day, I just don't do it that day. And I don't stress myself out over it because I don't need even any more added stress or anxiety to my day than what I already have. Okay, so the next tip is I want you guys to set deadlines. Give yourself deadlines. In order to get stuff done, to really eliminate and bring down the stress and bring down your anxiety, is to give yourself deadlines. If you know you have something to complete, stick to that deadline. And also when you're doing the deadlines, I want you to give yourself benchmarkers and report dates. So that way you can make sure that you are on track. That's something that we don't do when we set a goal and we have a deadline, is that we just keep powering through. But when you power through, you don't give yourself any time to have a check marker date to say, okay, I've got all these things done, but I haven't got what I need to get done. Do I need to bring in help? Do I need to get assistance? Do I need to let some of this stuff go? So also give yourself deadlines. The third thing that I want to do, and this goes back to pacing yourself, is making sure that you only take on so many projects. I know for me, for each month, and really for each quarter, when I'm planning out, I only plan out to take on 1 or 2 big things. So if it is a launch, or if it is like a summit, or if it is like releasing a new product or program, I only take on so many things outside of my daily money-making marketing activities. So if you have a large launch or a new course or a new program that you're taking, maybe that should be the only thing that you focus on during that time period. And don't bring on anything added that's another launch. Because if you do that, and if you're like me, you just stop that launch and you move on to the next thing, and then you never complete anything. And then there's never any follow-up. So we need to or follow through. So make sure that you are pacing yourself, but you only take on 1 or 2 big projects during that time and outside of your daily marketing activities. And you should know what those things are. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is what I talked about in number 2, is to get help and outsource. So if you're a type A personality, sometimes we don't like to get help. We don't like to bring other people in. A lot of times too, and I was talking to another leader. She's not a business owner, but she does lead something else. And I was telling her that when you want someone to help you, you have to map it out for them. And she doesn't really want to map out things for people. So her leadership is kind of diving. It's kind of suffering. So I'm a tell it like it is kind of person. But I have the discernment to only give you what you need in that moment. So that way you don't feel like it's an attack or feel like it's, you're getting overwhelmed and that you don't get anxiety. So I was telling her, if you want someone to help you do something, you got to spell it out for them. If it's 1, 2, 3 to you in your brain, you got to spell it out 0.1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So that way the person understands exactly what you want. In this case, during the holidays, you probably don't want to do that. But it's very important for you to do this, so that way you can get the help that you need and outsource it to really complete the task and move your business forward and make money and really have less anxiety. So if that means bringing on a bookkeeper because you don't want to be doing those finances like me, then that's what you need to be doing. If it also means getting a website designer instead of you doing the website yourself, if you have to do that, then you need to do it. If it means bringing on an online business manager to have someone sit down and say, this is what you need to be doing in your business, leave that alone, I can do this, here's this interview you need to be doing, or this is what you have scheduled, then hire the OBM. If you need a VA to help you create graphics and help you create PDFs and respond to people's emails, get that VA ASAP. A lot of these things don't cost thousands of dollars, and that's another reason why you don't outsource, because you believe that it costs thousands of dollars, and that's not true. That's really not true at all. So you want to make sure that you're getting the help that you need. Also, if that means bringing in a nanny or bringing in your mom or dad to help you, or your in-laws to help you take care of your children, have them do that. If that means bringing in your spouse or your partner to come and say, hey, babe, I need for you to really watch these kids for like an hour or two. I mean, really, it's not a sacrifice, because if they're the parent, they need to be watching their kids too. Especially if it's a man, he's not a babysitter. He is your husband or your spouse or whatever, partner, and he needs to be watching his kids. So that's his job, that's his duty. And, a lot of children do like to have time with their dad. So you need to make sure that you communicate that, like, hey, in order for me to be successful and for you to shine and you to come up on whatever it is that I'm doing, you need to help me. And the best way that you can help me is by watching these kids for an hour so that I don't pull my hair out and I can get what I need to get done. So that's how you can get help for that. And then the overall tip that I want to bring in for you, which is the last one, which I think is probably the most important, is that you need to enjoy the moment and take a break. The holidays time, it's full of magic. It's full of family and friends, and really just a reflection of how your year went, and just being thankful and blessed, whatever blessed means to you, and just receiving everything that's out there for you in the world that's good, everything that's pure, and everything that makes those memories and that magic for your children. You need to take time out and enjoy that. Like, even if it means you gotta take your kids to the mall to see Santa and you really don't want to, and you really got things to do, like edit blogs and upload course material to Thinkific, but you promised your kids you would take them to see Santa on Wednesday after school, then that's what you need to do. If it means putting up the Christmas tree at a time that you don't want to, put up that Christmas tree. If it means, baking 24 cookies for the school party, then that's what it means. But enjoy it. You're not going to be able to get those memories back with your kids. And for me, it's important to do so. One of my kids is going to be 10 in March. And I just think about, dang, she's going to be 10 years old. It went by so fast. My little one is 7 and going on, 17. You're not going to be able to get those memories back. Because I always feel like, she's my oldest, Jordan. There's going to be a time, maybe 2 or 3 years, where she's not going to want to be able, or when she becomes a teenager, she's not going to want to do this stuff. And I'm going to be the one begging her to do these things. So you really have to take a break. And you really have to enjoy the moment. And trust that whatever it is that you feel that you need to do is going to get done in its timing. And I guarantee you that if you don't take a break and you don't enjoy the moment, you're going to be wishing that you did. And wishing that you had those moments back. Because we're building these businesses to be able to spend more time with our friends and our family, to be able to take vacations. I mean, I don't know about you, but the way I'm setting up my business and building this empire, the way I built this empire is the fact that when my kids go on Thanksgiving break, and they have a whole week off for Thanksgiving, and they have 2 weeks off for Christmas break, and 2 weeks off for Easter break, and in the summer, I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of stuff during those times. I don't want them to always say, oh, my mom's always working. I don't want to discourage them from becoming an entrepreneur if they always see me stressing out and doing all this crazy stuff. So you really need to be able to take a break and enjoy the moment. Because remember, we're the role model. Those people on TV, they're not the role model. Whoever it is on TV that they're watching, or those people at school, those little friends that be talking to their mom is crazy, and you don't want your daughters around them. They spend a lot of time with them, and you don't want them to become the role model. You want to be the role model, and the woman that they look up to the most. So take breaks and enjoy the moment. And to me, that's the most one. Is number 5, or really tip number 6. So I'm going to check and see if there's any comments or anything that you guys have shared. If not, we will wrap up this episode of Empire Nista TV here in the Powerhouse CEO Moms group and the She Builds Empires podcast. I just really felt called to really let you guys know and tell you guys this because it's very important that we do stay present. And I am going to hop off here. I hope you all just really take this to heart and take what you need from this, and really have the most awesome holiday season. Remember to pace yourself. Take a breath if you need to. And let me tell you something. Some of this stuff was going to be around for a while. So don't feel the need to do all these things, because I'm really not about doing all these things. Streamline, create those systems, get her done, but have fun. So, okay guys, I'm signing off here until the next episode of both Empire Nista TV and the She Builds Empires podcast. Have an awesome empire building productive day. See you guys later.